Hi, I'm Barry, this is Mega City Gaming, and this is a video about how to make posters like this for your Wargames terrain. This terrain is from Dark Ops, by the way. So first thing you want to do is get your tools together. You're going to need a metal ruler, a knife, and a cutting mat. That's what you need. Also, you're going to need some graphic software, graphic editing software. I use Photoshop Elements. There's no way you're going to need the full Photoshop suite. Photoshop Elements is more than enough for anything you're going to do at home. Anything. So, right, when you got your tools together, you select your piece of terrain. This is my piece of terrain. This is again from Dark Ops. There's a big sign here. This is a water tower, by the way, so I'm going to put something watery here, a watery sign. So we measure the area, yeah, so this is like 6.8 by 3.8, 6.8 by 3.8, yeah. So you measure the area, make it a little bit smaller or bigger if you want. It doesn't really matter, because if it's a little bit smaller, you can like weather it up, and it doesn't matter, you know. Anyway, so you measure your area, number one. Next thing you want to do is open Photoshop Elements or your graphic software. Make it so. First thing we have to do is create a folder, and that's where we're going to save all our files related to this project. I have created a folder on the desktop called Posters. Next, you right click in the folder, select New, select Photoshop Elements Image, and call it whatever you want, and click Enter to open it. Now we have the options of choosing the size of the image. So of course we were using centimeters, so select centimeters, and it was 6.8 centimeters wide, I believe, and let's see if I can remember, 3.8 centimeters high, and we want resolution 300. 300 is the best resolution for 28mm gaming posters and stuff like that. Okay, and click OK. That's all you want to do. Now you have a big transparent rectangle. If you go to on the left hand side, there's a custom shape tool, select that, and down the bottom select rectangle, and then we want a dark brown, so let's, because that was the color of our water tower, so select dark brown and then just drag. Doesn't matter if you go over the edges, you want the whole thing covered, so the whole thing is now dark brown. Right, now let's find an image. So go to Google image search, go to let's type in H2O logo, enter, go to images. Okay, here's a good image, so we click on the image, and conveniently this is a PNG image, which means it doesn't have a background, so we just get the H2O logo and not a white background or anything like that. Right click on it, save picture as, save it into our posters folder, of course. Right, now we go to Photoshop, go to File, Open, find the posters folder, find your H2O image, open. Right, that will open a new tab. So we've got the poster tab, and then we've got the H2O tab. Next, go to a rectangular marquee tool, which is basically drag and select the whole image. Go to edit, copy. Right, go to back to the tab of the original poster, go to edit, go to paste, and there is our H2O thing. We want to make it bigger or smaller, we can just select the move tool on the left, and we can drag the edges to make it bigger. We can move it around, yeah, we can make it bigger, smaller, we can stretch it, but right now we just want to make it bigger and put it in the middle, right, something like that. That'll do. And then once we've stretched it, bended it, whatever, you can also rotate it like that if you want, whatever you want to do, but we don't want to rotate it. And then once you've done all your editing in that respect, you click on the check tool, check icon, to save those changes. If you click on the Ghostbusters sign, it will cancel all those changes you've done and it will revert back to the original size. So just click on the checkbox, check icon. Now let's add some text to that. So if we go to the left hand panel, the horizontal type tool, which looks like the letter T, it's basically a text tool. Down the bottom we get options for color and font and size and stuff like that. So let's choose a nice yellowy urine color, like that. That'll do. So it stands out, and we click on the picture and let's type in recycled. Right, and just for display purposes, click the checkbox and then move it around, and as you can see, I've done a typo. Whoops, I've done a typo. So if you've done a typo or you want to change anything about that text, you double click on it and then you can click where you've made the mistake and delete those extra letters. Right, and if you click the checkbox, that's fine. Again, if you want to change it, you can double click on it, you go down the bottom, you can change the font, you can change the size, you can change the color, you can make it bold, italic, whatever, but we don't want to do that. It's already set up. So click the check icon and we can put it into the right place. Okay, that's fine. Another thing we can do, which is quite cool, if you make sure you've got it selected, yeah, so if you make sure it's selected by clicking the move tool and clicking on the item you want to edit, which will be the text, go to the top, go to layer, the very top of the screen you've got a layer drop down menu, click on that and click on layer style, and then you get another menu and you click on style settings. Yeah, you've got a whole bunch of options here. Common things I use are glow. If you go to glow, click on glow, click on outer, you get an outer glow. Yeah, so you can change the color of that, you can change the size of it, you can change the shape. I use that quite a lot. It makes it stand out a bit. I don't want to use it on this particular project, but you can use it on other things. So deselect that for this project and click cancel. So I'm not going to use that, but anyway, I'm just showing you that. Right, so we have our basic image. However, I would like to make the background a little bit more grubby, a bit more post-apocalyptic. So because we want to play with the background, we don't want to play with these things anymore. These are fine. On the right hand panel you can click on the little eye icon. That makes it invisible. Visible, invisible, visible, invisible. Yeah, make these two things invisible. It means we can't mess them up when we're messing about with other stuff. Right, now go to rectangle tool, the shape tool. Down the bottom, click on custom shape, then click on here. It gives you a bunch of options. Make sure you've got all element shapes selected, and then we can go to there's a whole bunch of shapes here, including kind of dirt stain smudge shapes. So click that, and then drag and drop, or drag a shape onto your thing. That's bright yellow, that's too light, so we want to make that a dark brown, but not as dark brown as the background. So that is dark brown. So yeah, if you click on the move tool again on the top left, you can move it around, you can change the shape, you can rotate it and move it about, have it hanging off the edge so only half of it is on the image, and then click check. Right, so that's one stain. We want to make the whole thing stained up, so let's put a few things on there. Again, click on the custom shape tool, and because the last shape we did was this shape and this color, it will already be selected. So yeah, just click a bunch of those onto, click and drag a bunch of those onto the image, and click on the move tool to move them around. You can because they're the same color, they're going to merge, so you can make like custom shapes. You can of course, if you spin them round, it varies it up a bit. Yeah, if you stretch them. Okay, so let's add a little bit of variation to that. So we're going to go to shape tool again. We're going to choose another smudge shape, a different shape, and this one we're going to drag that on, and we're going to change the color of that to an even lighter brown. So there we go, and we're going to make a few of these. Yeah, okay, so we have a whole bunch of shapes. Yeah, right, so let's make that really big, and let's make this one really big. I want to show you something. Step into my limo. Right, anyway, so we got these two shapes, and say for example I want to make this smudge shape, I want to put this one behind this one. All you have to do, it's very simple, is this shape, we want to move that into the foreground. This shape is once you've clicked on it, it's highlighted on the right. Yeah, this is the shape, these are the layers. You can just drag that layer all the way to the top and it will become in the foreground. Yeah, and so if I want this in the foreground, click on it, drag it to the top. There you go, that's all you do. Right, so we want our, of course we want to put the text and stuff onto the document, so we click on the eye icon, which makes it visible again, and the same with the text, makes that visible. The H2O is currently right at in the background. We want to, so we click on that again. You can either click on it in the image, or you can click on it in the right hand panel and drag that all the way to the top to have that in the foreground. There you go. Then go to File, Save, and that will by default save it as a Photoshop file. Always do that first, because it means you can come back and edit it anytime. Let's say you've made a typo, you can come back and edit it. Also, if you want to make another poster of a similar style, you've already done half the work, and you just change the text or change the this image or whatever, and then go to File again, Save As, and this time you want to save as a JPEG. So you'll have two files, you've got the original Photoshop file and the JPEG file in that folder. So save as JPEG, have it as quality 12. So now in your folder you have a nice JPEG of your poster. Right, okay, it's not ready to print though. What you want to do is you want to make a PDF. So the way I do it is right click in, new, Word document, and you can use any word processing software. I just have Word, so I'm using that. Double click on that, open your word processing document, and the way to do it in Word, you can just drag it and drop. You can drag your JPEG and drop it in here, or you can go to Insert, Picture, and go to your folder, Posters folder, and there is the poster, and go to select it and select insert, and there it is. There's your poster in your Word document. You can print it from a Word document, that's fine. I like to make a PDF because it means I can print it at 7-Eleven or at work or on someone else's computer or wherever. It just makes it so much more versatile, and it's also better if you want to share it on Facebook or wherever. Yeah, so I want to save this as a PDF, so go to File, go to, first you want to save it as a Word document, so of course you can go back and add some more to this and whatever, and then File, Save As in your original posters folder, go to PDF, save as PDF, save, and there's your PDF document with the poster in it. That's it. Once you have your printed sheet, you're going to want to cut it out, cut out the posters. So of course you put your cutting mat down like so. You get your metal ruler like so, you get lined up. You want to cut it like just within the colour border, and of course you don't want to press too hard, you don't want to cut your fingers, so be very careful, concentrate, look at what you're doing, and drag the knife over the piece. Drag it several times, don't push too hard, it's only paper, so drag it across 3 or 4 times, and as you can see that has cut right through. And do the other sides. Yeah, this is thrilling entertainment for you, I'm sure, but you want to get it right. So yeah, cut all 4 sides, of course. Why would you do anything otherwise? There we go, cut all 4 sides. Be careful of your fingers, make sure the blade is not going to leap up over the ruler and across your fingers. Yeah, be very careful. Right, okay, safety first. Anyway, so once you cut out your poster, what do we do next? Well, this is something I like to do. It's a little bit superfluous, but I'm a bit of a stickler for perfection. So the edges, of course, because it's white paper, are a little bit white. Yeah, and a very quick way to eliminate that problem, although it's not really a problem, is get a felt tip pen and color the edges. Yeah, like this one is a brown design, so I'm coloring it brown. Yeah, and brown can be a pretty much a catch-all color if you're doing like post-apocalyptic or something like weathered. So because you know, posters get weathered and they get like dog-eared at the edges and stuff like that, and stained and all kinds. So go around the edge with a brown felt tip pen. That's or a Sharpie if you're from the US. Yeah. Of course, if it's a black image, you could use a black pen, or red if it's a red image, and so on. Yeah, use your discretion. Yeah. Yeah, just eliminates that white edging. Okay, now that's done. Right, now that's done, of course, we have to make sure it fits. Yeah, just a one last check, because you don't want to be sticking it on and realizing it's too big or too small or something like that. Yes, it fits. It fits pretty much perfectly. Right, look at that. Wow. Okay, so that was a last minute check. Now the gluing, I tell you. Right, so this is wood glue. You can use white glue, PVA glue, whatever, and this is a spreader I got with some other glue ages ago, and I've used it pretty much for everything ever since. You can use any kind of flat thing that you don't mind getting all glued up, basically. Right, so I'm using, just to keep my dinner table clean and my wife not so angry, I'm using not a tea towel, that would be anarchy. I'm using what are these called in English? Oh my god, what's it called in English? It's called a paper towel, that's it. Yeah, anyway, I'm using a paper towel, and I am just putting the glue directly onto the back of the poster. Yeah, making sure I'm getting near the edges and the corners, and put some in the middle too. Okay, when that's done, use the spreader, whatever you're using for a spreader, to push it to the edges. Yeah, push it to the limit. Yeah, push it to the edges, and you see that's why I'm using a paper towel, is because obviously there's some glue getting off the sides. Yeah, okay, so it's nicely spread about. Now time for the application. Right, get your bit of terrain, make sure your poster is the right way up. See, the glue is spread evenly. You probably can't see that at all because it's white. Anyway, spread evenly. Got a bit of glue on the front, doesn't matter. And stick it on. Make sure it's lined up with the terrain. Yeah, make sure it's lined up. Put it on there. So don't flatten it out yet. Make sure it's lined up first. Yeah, make sure it's lined up first. Yeah, because you've still got a chance right now to move it about a bit. Right, that's lined up at the top. Let's pull it down a little bit. That's it. Right, that is lined up at the top. So kind of like wallpapering, if you've ever done that. Spread it out. There we go. And you are going to get some excess glue coming out the sides. Just, you know, wipe it off. Just wipe it off. Yeah, and that's another reason to have a paper towel handy. Paper towel, paper towel, paper towel. Never forget that word. Right, here we go. Awesome. Right, that ain't going nowhere for love nor money. That is there forever. Right. Okay. Right. Next. Now we have to leave that to dry. I recommend leaving it like a day or overnight, just to be sure. And when it's dry, I use these are Tamiya weathering masters. They're basically weathering pigments, powders, and I just apply that to make the poster a little bit less shiny. I'm sure if you used spray top coat matte or flat, it would have the same effect. So there you go, it's done, job done. Right, to me. Hi. Right, there it is, there's my poster. Awesome. Right, so thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. See ya.